There is something profoundly wrong with your teeth. You brush twice a day with fluoride toothpaste. You floss, you use mouthwash, you visit the dentist every 6 months. You spend hundreds of dollars a year on dental care. And yet, half of all American adults have cavities. By age 50, the average American has lost 12 teeth. Now look at this. This is a medieval peasant who died in 1347. He was 45 years old. He never once used toothpaste. He never saw a dentist. He cleaned his teeth with a stick. His teeth are nearly perfect. Archaeological surveys of medieval remains show that only 20% of medieval teeth showed any sign of decay. Compare that to early 20th century populations, where up to 90% of teeth had cavities. Today, even with all our advanced dental technology, over 50% of American teenagers have tooth decay.
What happened? The answer isn't that medieval people had better genetics or magic herbs.
The answer is that we've fundamentally broken something in the 600 years since the Middle Ages ended. We've taken one of the most durable parts of the human body, teeth, that are literally made of the hardest substance your body can produce, and we've turned them into a $124 billion industry of constant failure. The medieval peasant knew something about dental health that the modern toothpaste industry desperately needs you to forget. Walk down the dental care aisle of any supermarket. There are 47 different types of toothpaste: whitening toothpaste, sensitivity toothpaste, charcoal toothpaste, toothpaste with microbeads, toothpaste for gum disease. You're spending $8 on a tube of toothpaste that contains ingredients you can't pronounce: sodium lauryl sulfate, triclosan, artificial sweeteners, microplastics. Then you're spending $500 on a root canal, because despite using all these products, your tooth still rotted from the inside. The global oral care market is worth $53 billion. The global dental services market, another $71 billion. That's $124 billion a year to fix a problem that medieval peasants who owned literally nothing didn't have. And here's the kicker. Unlike food, toothpaste companies aren't required to prove their products actually work. They just need to not poison you. That's the bar. Compare that to medieval dental care. A piece of rough linen, maybe some sage, occasionally some salt. Total cost, essentially zero. And they had better teeth than you. It's dawn in 1320, somewhere in rural England. A peasant wakes up in his cottage. One of the first things he does before breakfast, before starting work, is walk outside, break off a fresh hazel or birch twig, and chew one end until it frays into soft bristles. He then uses this makeshift toothbrush to scrub his teeth. The wood fibers clean between his teeth. Some woods, like hazel, have natural antibacterial properties. When the twig gets too worn, he just breaks off another one. Cost, zero. Time investment, 3 minutes. But medieval people didn't stop there. Archaeological evidence and historical texts reveal a surprisingly sophisticated approach to oral care. They use sage leaves, which we now know contain rosmarinic acid, a powerful antibacterial compound. They chewed mint for fresh breath. They used salt as an abrasive to scrub teeth. Some used crushed charcoal, the same activated charcoal that modern natural toothpastes now sell for $15 a tube. A 13th century English physician named Gilbertus Anglicus recommended a mixture of ground pepper and salt. The Trotula, a medieval medical text, described a recipe using walnut shells rubbed on teeth 3 times daily, followed by a rinse with warm wine mixed with salt. For the wealthy, there was an elaborate blend: cinnamon, clove, frankincense, mastic, wormwood, ground into a fine powder. Now, were these medieval remedies perfect? No. But here's what matters. They worked well enough that only 20% of medieval teeth showed decay. Your modern toothpaste, with all its advanced chemistry, you're still losing. But the real reason medieval people had better teeth isn't what they used to clean them. It's what they didn't eat: sugar. The medieval peasant diet was brutally simple. Coarse dark bread made from stone-ground grain. Vegetables, mostly cabbage, turnips, leeks. Grains like barley and oats. Dairy products, milk, cheese. Occasionally some meat, usually preserved. And, crucially, almost no sugar. Refined sugar didn't exist for common people. It was a rare luxury that only the extremely wealthy could afford, and even they used it sparingly as a seasoning, not as a main ingredient. When medieval people wanted sweetness, they used honey or fruit, and even those were occasional treats, not daily staples. Here's why this matters. Tooth decay is caused by bacteria, specifically Streptococcus mutans, feeding on sugars in your mouth and producing acid as a waste product. That acid dissolves your tooth enamel. No sugar in the diet means the bacteria have no fuel. No fuel means no acid. No acid means no cavities. Medieval Europeans consumed an estimated 2-3 pounds of sugar per person per year. Today, the average American consumes 152 pounds per year. You're eating 50 times more sugar than a medieval peasant. Your teeth never stood a chance, and we have proof this was the cause. When sugar became more available in the Tudor period, the late 1400s and 1500s, dental health collapsed among the wealthy who could afford it. Queen Elizabeth of Ar was famous for her rotted black teeth. Her teeth were so bad she was terrified of tooth extraction. One of her bishops had to have a tooth pulled in front of her to prove it was survivable. As sugar became more available first to the rich, then to everyone, tooth decay rates exploded. By the early 20th century, 90% of teeth examined showed decay. We traded the medieval peasants' healthy teeth for industrial access to sugar, and we've been paying dentists to fix the damage ever since. But here's where it gets really interesting. Medieval people had one dental problem that was actually worse than ours: tooth wear. Their bread was made from stone-ground grain. The grinding process left tiny particles of stone silica in the flour. Every single day with every meal, they were essentially eating sandpaper. Over years and decades, this wore their teeth down significantly. By age 40, many medieval people had teeth worn nearly flat. But archaeologists noticed something strange. Despite this severe wear, the worn teeth showed less decay than you'd expect. In some cases, the worn areas were completely cavity-free. Here's why. Your molars, the big grinding teeth in the back, have deep grooves and fissures. These crevices are perfect traps for food particles and bacteria. They're the #1 location for cavities to form, but when medieval teeth wore down from the abrasive bread, those grooves disappeared. The tooth surface became smooth. Smooth surfaces don't trap food. No trapped food means nowhere for bacteria to hide. Modern dentistry recognized this principle. That's why dentists now apply sealants to children's molars, a plastic coating that fills in the grooves. It's a $50 procedure that mimics what stone-ground bread did accidentally. The medieval peasant was essentially getting permanent dental sealants installed for free, one meal at a time. It wasn't intentional. It probably wasn't pleasant, but it worked. In the 1600s and 1700s, European colonial powers established massive sugar plantations in the Caribbean and South America. Sugar production exploded. What was once a luxury only kings could afford became something the middle class could buy. By the Victorian era, the mid-1800s, sugar was cheap enough for working-class families to purchase regularly. And they did. They put it in tea, in cakes, in puddings. Children ate sugar candies. And dental health absolutely collapsed. Tooth decay became epidemic. By the early 1900s, tooth loss was so common that dentures were a standard part of aging. Today, sugar is in everything. Your healthy whole grain bread has added sugar. Your pasta sauce has sugar. Your salad dressing has sugar. Even your deli meat is cured with sugar. You are bathing your teeth in acid-producing fuel every single day, multiple times a day, and then wondering why your dentist keeps finding new cavities. And here's the sick irony. As tooth decay became epidemic, the toothpaste industry exploded. They sold you the solution to a problem they helped create. Visual, modern dental industry statistics appearing. $53 billion. Global oral care products market $71 billion. Global dental services market $124 billion. Total annual spend on dental health. The medieval peasant spent $0 on dental care and had healthy teeth. You spend thousands over your lifetime and still lose 12 teeth by age 50. This isn't healthcare. This is a protection racket. So what do you do with this information? You can't exactly go back to being a medieval peasant. You can't uninvent sugar. You can't force food companies to stop adding it to everything. But you can make choices that move you closer to what actually works. First, and most important, reduce your sugar intake as dramatically as possible. Not just candy and soda. That's obvious. I'm talking about hidden sugars. Read ingredient labels. If sugar appears in the first 5 ingredients, don't buy it. Switch to unsweetened versions of foods. Drink water instead of juice. Make your own salad dressing. The medieval peasant consumed 2-3 pounds of sugar per year. You don't need to hit that target. But if you can get under 50 pounds per year, 1/3 of the modern average, your teeth will thank you. Second, eat foods that actually build teeth. High calcium, dairy, leafy greens, bone broth. High in minerals, organ meats, shellfish, root vegetables. Stop eating processed food-like substances designed in laboratories. Eat things that existed 500 years ago. Third, you still need to clean your teeth mechanically. The medieval twig method actually works. You can buy miswak sticks online or use a soft bristle toothbrush. For toothpaste, you can make your own using the same ingredients medieval people used: baking soda, salt, a bit of essential oil for flavor. It costs 50 cents and works as well as the $10 tube. Or just use water and a toothbrush. The mechanical scrubbing is what matters most, not the paste. Fourth, stop constantly eating. Medieval people ate 2, maybe 3 meals a day. No snacking. Every time you eat, you create an acid attack in your mouth that lasts 20-30 minutes. Eat 6 times a day. Your teeth are under acid attack for 3 hours total. Eat twice a day. Acid attack for 1 hour total. Give your teeth time to remineralize between meals. Fifth, eat foods that require chewing. Medieval people chewed tough, fibrous foods that mechanically cleaned their teeth while eating. We eat soft, processed mush that sticks to teeth and feeds bacteria. An apple cleans your teeth while you eat it. Applesauce does the opposite. For most of human history, tooth decay was rare. Our ancestors had strong, healthy teeth that lasted their entire lives. They didn't have fluoride or electric toothbrushes or $8 tubes of toothpaste. What they had was a diet that didn't destroy their teeth. Then we industrialized sugar production. We made it cheap, we put it in everything, and we created an epidemic of tooth decay that has lasted 200 years. And instead of fixing the root cause, getting sugar out of our food supply, we built a $124 billion industry selling you solutions that don't actually solve the problem. The medieval peasant knew something we've forgotten. Teeth are designed to last a lifetime if you stop poisoning them with sugar 3 times a day. You don't need expensive products. You don't need complicated routines. You need to stop feeding the bacteria that destroy your enamel. Eat real food, cut the sugar, clean your teeth mechanically. That's it. That's the secret the medieval peasant knew and the modern dental industry desperately needs you to forget. Because here's the truth. Your teeth are made of the hardest substance your body can produce. They're designed to crush food for 70, 80, 90 years. The only reason they're failing you is because you're bathing them in acid every single day. The medieval peasant didn't have better teeth because he was lucky. He had better teeth because his food didn't destroy them. The choice is yours. You can keep buying the expensive products and wondering why your teeth keep failing. Or you can learn from the peasant who had healthier teeth with a stick and some sage than you do with $500 worth of dental work. If this video changed how you think about dental health, subscribe for more forgotten history. Next, watch this video on why medieval sleep was better than yours, because the modern world didn't just ruin your teeth, they ruined everything. And if you want to know what else the food industry is hiding from you, watch this video on why medieval bread was healthier than anything in your kitchen.